Are you a husband whose marriage is going cold? Have you been healed from the past hurts, pains, and traumas you've been through? Let me explain. Before I got married, I had been hurt by the person I loved most and trusted most in this world. And because of that, he laid the platform for the rest of my life where I couldn't trust people. Building relationships was a hard one for me because I just couldn't trust people. So fast forward into marriage, I came into my marriage with a lot of hurt, just broken. Time has a way of revealing unhealed pains, hurts, and traumas. In my marriage, I couldn't even trust my wife. I know marriage, like they say, is built on trust. I didn't realize I had naturally built like a defense mechanism emotionally and mentally to protect myself from ever experiencing that again. Sometimes you don't realize you're doing things that's upsetting your wife. It's causing a lot of harm in your home. Once I started realizing that I'm actually hurt, I'm actually broken, and I need help, I started seeking God for help. That's when the process began, because I had been healed when I got saved. In Romans, it says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." There's more to the verse, but I just want to touch on this first part. When we do it God's way, that's when we experience the fullness of what healing and restoration looks like. When I began on this path of being transformed by the renewing of my mind, I started to recognize that all these old habits, old mindsets, old ways of doing things was not working. It was actually harming my marriage. For example, one thing I really struggled with was a negative mindset. My wife would do something and then the first thing I would assume was a negative thought. As I mentioned before, because of the hurt I had experienced, insecurity had like a solid hold on me. So trying to navigate through this, every time my wife would do something, I'd automatically think the worst and think, oh, she's trying to hurt me, she's trying to harm me. I didn't realize that was an automatic defense mechanism, and then my mindset would start to think of thoughts in how I would counter these. Such a toxic way of thinking, but I thank God for revealing this to me. He helped me recognize this, and as I mentioned, the Bible gives us this concept: be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your old mindsets, your old habits you used to have, you just got to stop it and do a better way. There's always a better way. That's God's way. So when I started recognizing these things and I started seeking God for help and He started showing me His better ways, that's when I started experiencing marriage on a different level. I love my wife now more than I ever have before. Our marriage started off, it wasn't a love story, but where we are now is by the grace of God. He was the one that helped us get to this point. Why? When the healing started within me, that's when we started experiencing the fullness of what marriage really looks like. Now we can have a laugh. Now we experience joy. Now we enjoy each other's company. Now I love her more than, as I mentioned before, more than ever before. I enjoy her company. I enjoy hanging out with her. And for some of you husbands, changing your old mindsets may involve you doing what you normally don't do. You may have seen an old example always come home, that's it, his job is done. You don't have to continue that cycle. If you want to experience another level of love and intimacy with your wife, it's got to start with you doing things around the house. If you feel like she's always angry, maybe she's just overwhelmed with the children because you're not helping out at home. Sometimes as husbands, that's acts of love that we can do. We can't be governed by legalistic mindsets. When we run our home through the lens of the love of God, you will find yourself doing things because you love your family. For example, I have 5 children. I used to do nothing. Recognizing that helping out around the house, doing things like washing the dishes, doing the washing, hanging the washing, folding the washing, little things like that take a bit off your wife and it helps her be able to relax. So I encourage you husbands, sometimes the change has got to start with you. If you want a happy home, if you want a home that thrives, sometimes it's got to start with you. I don't speak as if I'm perfect. I'm speaking from my heart. I'm trying to help my brothers in Christ. I'm trying to help other men out there. Your marriage doesn't have to fail. You can bring it back. God bless you all, soldiers.